Hello, it's your girl Claudia Jordan. I'm back with TGIF. We're here to spill the tea and break down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. So sit back, relax, and get ready to sip on this hot tea. What's up, fellas? Hello, Al.
Hey, what's going on, Claudia?
Man, a whole lot.
We're
What's
gonna
up,
spill a
What's up, Funky?
What's going on, everybody? Happy, what's today?
Monday.
Monday. Happy Monday.
We just coming off the weekend. Well,
Yes,
I know
child. With
you.
all this tea that's going on, baby, my head is in a whirlwind. Everybody getting touched. I can't tell my up from down. I don't know if my legs were up and the down. I don't know
oh,
if I've been sexually harassed. I don't know if somebody played in my Tootsie Cat. I don't know
oh,
what's going on. I don't know if I'm in a relationship. I don't know if my album's selling. I don't know if Blueface and Krishan finna come beat me up. We got so much going on in the world.
Are
I'm
y'all
just
a little
confused.
overwhelmed? It's like
I,
every week the biggest story of the year comes out, and then it gets trumped by another one.
mm-hmm,
Like the last 6 weeks, we've been going hard, like
mm-hmm,
society, right?
oh, we've been going beyond hard. We
mm-hmm.
have been debunking some of our largest heroes and sheroes, if you really want to be honest, or speculation around some of our largest talents in our community are being taken down.
It's a lot going on. So did y'all have a good weekend? I saw Funky was dressed up. He had some dress shoes on.
I did with my new feet. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't come home hurting. Shouts out to Dr. Wagner at Jaws Podiatry for giving me my new feet. It was the first time I was able to slide these big old size 10s and those wingtip Christian Louboutin dress shoes without my feet burning and yearning all in the front. This is what it feels like to be normal. But yes, I hosted the fifth annual Jingle and Mingle Charity Gala last night, put on by Wright and Young Funeral Home and a few other uh, nonprofit organizations here in Miami. And let me tell y'all something. We had a ball last night. I'm waiting to get the pictures back because I was hosting. I didn't get an opportunity to take a lot of photos. But it's just nothing better than when you get around your people and everybody's all gussied up. The music is good, the liquor is good, everybody's acting grown. I had to go dust my tuxedo off, and I just had fun last night.
All right, nice. Al, how was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was nonstop. On Saturday, of course, was the daytime Emmys. You guys know what the daytime Emmy is.
I've
Uh,
been to
so
the
Yeah, so that was here in LA this weekend. I was so proud to see Sherry Shepherd and Jennifer Hudson, like Sherry shared, two young black girls from Chicago who started from the bottom and now they're at the top. It was just such an inspirational story to watch. And then yesterday, I was actually honored by Bella Masters, which is an organization that focuses on the youth and developing future leaders. And Stedman Graham actually was the person that gave me my award. So I was super excited to receive that from Bella Masters for all the contributions I made while working with the organization and teaching and working with their young kids. So had a pretty eventful weekend.
All right, nice. Well, I wasn't honored or hosting any shows this weekend. I was just hanging out with the girls and Christmas parties and I had a good time. So I'm going to a hockey game after this, but I need to lay my ass
Why?
down. I got
You like
friends in
hockey?
town. I went to one game like 20 years ago when the first like black player was like when the first black players was playing in LA. And one of my friends is in town that when you got Frankie, you live in Miami, so you probably got people always coming to town like,
Mhm.
you
I'm
know, they
here.
yeah, and he's a good friend of mine. So he got a box and me and my girls and him and his friends, we're gonna all be in the box and
Oh, that's not bad if you're in a box.
America.
I hate sporting events, but
I
if I
love
could
it.
go in a box and like eat and
And
talk and
drink.
play on my phone, then I'm good because it's like being at a lounge. So,
Right.
like a hockey game, a soccer game, a baseball game, a swim meet, a golf game. Those are like sporting events I would so not be interested in attending. But if you're in a box, it should be cool.
Me and the girls, we made a commitment to each other that we're going to try to do things outside our normal places we go. Because you tend to go to the same place and then you complain you ain't meeting people, whatever. You got to switch it up and just have different experiences. So we're going to try to do it once a week, go to a different, like a lounge, a speakeasy, or just something that we don't usually go to. And this week it's a hockey game. So we're going to stick with this. I think it's going to be good for us. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, so you're going to go to a rodeo? You're
I've
going
done
to go
that.
to a bull ride thing?
I've done the Black Rodeo in Texas. It was pretty cool. Yeah,
Ah, that's
it was
cool.
it was a lot. All right, y'all. Are y'all drinking tonight, or what we doing?
Child, I just got left Houston. I was pushing it 60 miles an hour up Biscayne Boulevard trying to get home and make it home on time. So I've had 2 margaritas already.
Here
So
we go.
I'm drinking air for the remainder of the show because I'm trying to do what? Maintain my better self. I thought I was gonna say unlock. I'm trying to maintain my better self.
Shout out to the same crew that did the spoof on us. I sent it to our group chat.
I didn't look at it yet.
I saw it. Yeah.
I am magical. They actually incorporated the turtle commercial that the fans are like, oh. It's so funny.
Oh my God. Hopefully we can get it on the show tomorrow. I gotta watch it.
Okay, check it out and shout out to the whole crew. We love you guys doing the videos of us, so keep them coming. All right, let's get into the show. Let's kick off the show with some feel-good news. The NFL officiated its first game last Thursday with an all-black on field and replay crew during the Chargers versus Raiders game. Wow, what are your thoughts on this historic moment, Al?
It didn't come soon enough, but we'll take it. You know, the NFL has been under scrutiny for years, if not decades, for their discriminatory practices. I'm glad to see that we finally do have 36 black referees in the National Football League of the 112. And if the production could put the picture back up, there's only one woman, and doesn't she look beautiful right there on your far right? She, in fact, is the only black woman officiate referee in the National Football League, and thumbs up to her. But you know what, Claudia, even though this is somewhat of a short-term gain, it just appears to me that it's long overdue, because when you think about the National Football League and think that, 60+% of the league is made up of black men, why are we just now getting a black referee? All right, NFL, I see you. You're trying to do better, and I can applaud that, but there's always room for more improvement.
Because they late. All right, Q, what do you think about this?
I definitely love it. You know what I'm saying? Optically, it's sending all the right messages to, certain people. But I just want to put, there is a group of people out there who are going to refer to these people as diversity hires and all this type of stuff. And I just want to put other communities on alert that this is not what we're asking for, right? Like, we're not asking for every game and every team and every position to be all black. We're not asking for this every game. This is nice for this particular game. What we are asking for is more inclusion. So please don't be alarmed. No need to protest. No need to get into your affirmative action bag, because we're not asking for every game, every coach to be black. Although for years, every game, every situation, the whole staff has been white, and y'all haven't seemed to have had a problem with that. But that's not what we're asking for. We're just asking to be included. And I think, to Al's point, if 60% of the damn workforce in the NFL, meaning the players, is black, then it seems to me that 60% of the staff and the officiants should match the demographic of the players on the field who are injuring their bodies in order for old white men in the good old boys club to make money.
We're not even at the percentage of Black Americans in the country, never mind of the high percentage of Black people in the league. We have some comments here. Rosemary Watson said, once we get in, they can't get us out. And Actress 29 Austin said, the NFL needs to hire more Black owners and coaches. Well, we got to let more people in to buy teams. And Mayor of Horse Pasture Virginia said, it's just now happening because Black players do not stick together or demand it. That's true. And Bettina Lester said, better late than never. Listen, the NFL has been behind on a lot of this stuff. I mean, look what they did to Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee for justice, for police brutality against it. And there's been other players that have taken knees that's still able to play. Hello, Tim Tebow, kneeling for abortion. It's still a good old boys club. It's cute. It's a cute step in the right direction. We'll take it, but we have a long way to go. I'll celebrate when I see some Black owners. We need that. Tanya Christopher said the NFL was only interested in playing, not having them for official calls. I mean, not surprising. All right, y'all. Speaking of history, Nicki Minaj recently broke the record for the most #1 albums by a female rapper in Billboard 200 history. The news comes after her new album, Pink Friday 2, earned the biggest vinyl sales in a week for a female rap album in the history of Nielsen. What are your thoughts on this historic moment for Nicki? Q, what do you think?
I think this is awesome. Listen, undeniably, Nicki Minaj, regardless of who you're a fan of, which is dumb, you have to choose sides in this industry. She is undeniably the greatest female rapper that there has been. All right. And there's just no way around it. I think that this is an amazing award. What I want for Nicki, though, is to stop carrying herself so pedestrian-like. Stay out of social media beefs, stay out of the mix, and stop playing down here with the common folk and conduct herself like the queen that she is. Like, take a note out of Beyonce's page, put the blinders on, don't hear anything in your periphery, stay focused. But this is great. I wish her nothing but success, and she deserves it.
All right. Al?
I'm going to disagree with Funky when he said that Nicki Minaj was the greatest female rapper in the business. I'm going to argue, Q, that she's one of the greatest rappers in music. So when I think of great rappers, I think of Jay-Z, I think of Nas, I think of Rakim, I think of Kendrick Lamar, I think of J. Cole, and I think of Nicki Minaj. She's not just a great female rapper. She's a freaking great rapper, period. She's the GOAT, and this is impressive. And to me, if you want to give a gender label to it, she is by far one of the females greatest of all times. And how incredible is it that she's a Black female, she's young, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's been doing it for 20 years, and she is still on the charts and still breaking records. Thumbs up, Nicki. Keep up the great work, and can't see what the next 10 years are going to bring for you.
Okay. Clue Kate said, of course, Nicki Minaj is breaking records like she's making history. She's a legend. I think her work ethic and the hits she's put out, and listen, she gets on features with people like Kanye, Jay-Z, and actually ate everybody up on that song. So, you got to give props where props is due. Yeah, congratulations, Nicki. I'm going to leave it at that. I congratulate you. That's a major feat. She's actually not one of the younger girls. She's 40. She's one of the older girls in the game, and still at the top of the charts with this album. And it was a big shoes to fill from the first Pink Friday album. And at first, people like tripping, and then people coming through. The barbs are coming through, and they're buying that album up. So congratulations, Nicki Minaj. And I'd like to see you working with a lot of people coming in the future. And like you said, that was some good advice. All right, switching gears. Our friend Christian Keys has been trending on social media after opening up about his experience with sexual harassment from an executive in Hollywood. Check this out.
This person was sexually harassing me for years. He was claiming, that he had multiple young Black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there.
This was trending all over the place all weekend. It still is. We rarely hear men come forward, and I got to commend him for his bravery. It's got to be scary. What are your thoughts on this news story? Whoever wants to go first on this.
I'll go ahead.
Oh, sure. Christian Keys basically broke the internet this weekend, and we know that our lovely Claudia Jordan stood in solidarity with him. And I think you guys are right. I think that we need to have the same sensitivities when it comes to men claiming sexual harassment as when women do, because nonetheless, it's the same. It's courageous, but at the same time, it was explosive at the same time, right? And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm just being honest. I'm always weary of individuals who take these type of actions, but don't mention names. Now, stick with me here, because I'm going to tell you why. Because by not revealing the name, you are basically freeing that person of any accountability, and you're giving them, while you're freeing them of accountability, you're also giving them a license to continue that bad behavior that, according to him, has been going on for decades. I don't like that, because you're putting other people, especially young people coming into the business, at risk when you know firsthand how horrible it made you feel. So I just think he needs to take that into consideration as he navigates his way into revealing or not revealing who this person is.
All right, Q, what do you think?
To be honest, and just to be fair, we can't have this conversation as robustly as it deserves to be had without disclosing the identity of the accuser. I've heard who it was, and I don't want to step into that firestorm. So I'm going to defer my commentary until we get more details about this situation.
I was actually really surprised that when I saw the video, my friend Portia sent me the video. She's like, girl, look, because we've had conversations about this before. I've been friends with Christian for quite a while, and I met him around, so we worked on a Joe video, Why Just Be Friends, and he played the masseuse in the video for me, and we became friends, and we hung out, and we had a long talk one night before we went to a club. He shared some things about the industry in general. And he seemed like a man that was traumatized. Like that look he had in his eye that on that live was like, it was like that. And I was like, something happened to this man that was bad. And it's not my place to tell. I only wanted to show that someone else is validating that he has been keeping the same energy. That's the only reason I even said anything. I know people want to be quick to call me messy or inserting myself. It had nothing to do with that. I don't need clout. I got clout 5 days a week right here in Foxhole. I don't need that. But I just know how it feels to step out there, right? And then be like, where my friends at? I know so I did what I could. This is nothing new in the business. As many Me Too stories as we hear about women in the business, I have told my friends, when it comes to the men in this business, they are victimized. I won't say worse, but kind of. A lot of men are almost forced to go against their sexuality for an opportunity, or heavily persuaded. And that's so sad. I know a few guys that have gone there, and then they're traumatized. They're never the same. Christian's talking about more than one person in that video. If you listen to it, I listened to the whole hour. He talks about a woman that groped him, a man about investing into his company, and then the Hollywood mogul.
I'm confused then. So which one are we waiting for him to reveal?
Any of them. But
that sounds like a lot.
It is a lot, but let me tell you, there's so many people in this business that abuse their power. Mm. They know how bad you want it. If you left your hometown of Flint, Providence, Horse Pasture, Miami Gardens, and you go to a whole nother part of the country and you left your household and said, I'm going to make it. And you go out there and then you see what it's really about. And you're like, oh my God, I get it. And I get his fear and I get him holding on to this. He told me back then, when I get to a position where I can freely talk about this, I'm going to. And he did, and I think he will. He said he's gonna come out, and he has a lot of information, and he said he is. I'm sure his phone's getting blown up by lawyers. This is not him telling me. This is me assuming my opinion. I sent him a message and just saying, yo, I commend you for being this brave, because what the first thing a man want to do when another man tries you, they want to call you gay, you a punk, how you let a man do you like that? Why didn't you just knock him out? Look what Terry Crews went through. A little bit different because we don't like some of the moves that Terry Crews did, but people didn't take him seriously when he complained about the same thing from a white executive.
So let me ask you this, and I hear you. I swear to God I do, because I'm from Horse Pasture. So by not telling us, is he protecting abusers' identity?
I think it's probably at the advice of his lawyer.
To protect the abuser's identity.
Well, until you're ready to file your claim or drop a police report,
Okay.
what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Until you're ready until you are really ready to listen. Here goes all my evidence and everything, so I don't get sued for,
Be ready to go to commercial, girl.
I know. All right, we're gonna go to commercial on this. I know the chat has been waiting for the story the entire day, but we're gonna have more on the story as it comes out. But y'all, it's major. Coming up, we find out what we would do in sticky situations, and later, Darius Jackson is fighting to remove Keke Palmer's restraining order. Stay tuned.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Stories that we're going to cover come from around the world, around the country. Some of them will warm your heart. Some of them will make you good and mad.
McMillan and Morrow.
There's been an uptick in fights at Disney World.
That's because it's hard to be happy in Florida right now.
Every Thursday night.
Yeah, and you're having a great night at Disney World's Epcot.
How you gonna ban Black history? Here are people go through 400 years of suffering and work themselves to the place where they can become the leader of the free world. That ain't no educational value. I'm fired up.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Welcome back to TGIF. Wow, we got over 7,000 people in the chat tonight. Shout out to all the soulmates. They are all trying to guess. And yeah, a lot of y'all said the name. I'll just leave it at that. Soulmates, have you ever thought about how you would handle yourself if you were placed in the middle of an unexpected situation? Well, we'd like for you to chime in with the fun, with the hashtag WWYD. What would you do? All right, first up.
No.
Yeah.
We're not doing this tonight.
Yeah, we sure
we are not. We are
Yes,
not.
we are.
We are not doing this tonight. We're not doing this tonight.
Go on, Claudia. Let's hear it.
First up, Anita Baker is once again under fire after asking her security to remove fans from her recent show in Houston, and she was so grouchy. Take a look.
Security help them out, and I mean out of my front row. Ain't said nothing.
Now, what would you do if your favorite artist removed you from their concert? And most importantly, what's going on with Anita? Q, I know you're going to be biased. So, Al, I'm going to go to the facts guy. Al, what would you do if one of your faves had you removed because he was just simply trying to record your fave?
Listen, I've been told y'all about Anita Baker and her rude self. What would I do? Anita Baker, if I paid, and these aren't cheap seats, Q will let you know how much these seats cost, but these are not cheap seats. You're going to pay me my money back, not only for my seats, you're going to pay me for my gas to get to the concert and to get home. You're going to pay me for the babysitter that I had to hire to watch them badass kids while I went to your concert. You're going to pay for that dinner I had to take my date out to before we came to your concert. And you're going to pay for the parking that I had to pay for at the stadium, and then you're going to pay for the detailing that I had done to my car because I was going out on a date with my significant other to come see you sing. I swear she would not put me out of a concert that I spent all that money to get prepared for. It would have been some freaking problems.
Funky, I'm gonna say something for you because we're gonna say the best for last.
Turn off your camera, move back. I don't know who you are.
When I was a model on Deal or No Deal, one of the execs said that they took their kid to Anita Baker show and they were so excited to meet her. They were like you, a young kid that was like loved old school music, and they had a picture that they printed up of Anita, and they can you sign this, Miss Baker? She looked at the picture. She's like, I hate this picture. And she ripped it in half and walked off. Al, I know you heard stories like this about Miss Anita.
She did it to me. What are you talking about?
Did she did it to you?
You remember she did it to me. Woo. We'll talk about that another time.
Patricia, Practical D said Patti LaBelle would never.
Okay, so listen, here's the game. Okay. Here's the game. Anita Baker comes from a certain time in music, 70s, 80s, even the 90s, where there was a certain decorum expected in the audience. The thing that clips don't tell you is Mama was distracted by the flash on the videos, and that is why she was asking people to not record the people who were up close in the front. Now, Claudia, you've been on the stage before. Al, I don't know how many stages that you've been on in front of a lot of audiences. And we're not going to deny the fact that people rumbling around and doing things with lights can be distracting, okay? Now, I will say this in all fairness. Auntie Anita does have to step into 2023 and realize that this is kind of where the world is now. People do flash photography, but how many times have you gone to the zoo? I mean, not the zoo, the circus and all of these things, and they say, please no flash photography. It's distracting. And y'all understand, Mama's an old school artist. She's used to people sitting down like this and listen to her. She didn't want y'all. What I think Anita needs to do in the future is explain to the children, I know y'all gonna record, please turn your flash off.
Okay, got it, Q. I'm gonna give you that one. Okay, but in the last 3 weeks, we've covered Anita Baker 3 different times, and it's not about a flash. It's about her bad attitude. That's what we need to be talking to Miss Anita about, because if it's not the flash, it's the sound guy. If it's not the sound guy, it's the security guy. If it's not the security guy, you're late. Like, come on now.
She need her stuff to be right. The sound, because here's the thing.
Oh my God.
About the sound. Because a legacy act like her, if that sound wasn't right, then y'all be sitting on this same show talking about she sounded like a has-been. So to answer the question, Claudia, what would I do? I would have did what Auntie instructed me to do, which was turn my camera off when she said, please no recording. Go on to the next thing.
Hold on. Ain't she been in the business for like 50 years? This ain't the first camera flash. She done seen camera flashes since the Polaroid cameras and the wind-up disposable cameras. This ain't the first one. Q,
actually, really not. Anita took a 20-year hiatus. When Anita stopped music, camera phones did not exist. And she just came back not too long ago. She ain't really used to it.
She's only 65. If she took a hiatus for 20 years, when was it?
CQ.
In the 90s. When Anita Baker came back, she
20 years, Q.
For 20 years.
Okay,
yes.
so
I'm 40. She had been gone for 20 years.
I'm going to say this. It was giving drunk auntie. And we know a drunk auntie when we see one. Shoot, you looking at one right now. It was giving drunk auntie. Okay, we got to move on. Moving on, a U.S. Senate staffer for Ben Cardin, which I hate that he's involved because it's not him. It's a damn man intern, was fired after a sex tape was released of him and another man having sex in a Senate hearing room. What would you do if someone released your sex tape to the public? And have you guys ever had sex while at work, Q?
So I would be very upset if somebody had released my sex tape, and I'm probably going to regret ever sharing this with y'all. But I used to have sex all the time at work. I had this one man, he would come on his lunch break and we would go in the downstairs bathroom and he would crawl under, he would lock the stall next to the one we would be in and lock it so nobody could be next to us, and then crawl under to the stall where I was at. And we would fool around, and this went on for at least 2 years down to the job. And it was just a simple text. It was like, what you doing for lunch? And that was our coded language for him to leave his job and come on over to mine, honey.
You be having like hooker stories.
I live. Let me tell you something, man. When I go to I've lived. That's why I can sit down now and the luxuries of like Anita Baker concerts and stuff, because I have lived. I have laid it low and spread it wide with some of everything and everybody.
Behind dumpsters, under trees.
But I'm classy based now. So
First of all, remove classy from your vocabulary. Okay. Right. Sneaker Q33N said, "Who got Q's tape?"
All right.
Out.
No, you know me. I worked in finance. There was no having sex at work because there were cameras everywhere. Would I have done it? No, I was just always afraid of losing my job or getting caught. But in this particular case, guys, I really want to be really serious about this. Where is the outrage? Because if this had been someone that looked like us, you know that the Republicans would have wanted him to be arrested for trespassing or charged for trespassing or charged for indecent exposure or charged for misuse of public property. Because remember, that particular room is where they had the 911 commission hearings. It was also, remember, with the FBI in 2017, the director had to testify against Donald Trump. It was in that room. And this is also the room where they confirm I Supreme Court justice. This isn't just a room. This is a very prominent space. It's like the chambers that were in DC that were taken over. Where are the charges of trespass? Where's the charges of indecent exposure? Where's the charges for misuse of public property?
He didn't trespass because he had a badge. There was no indecent.
No, but he was there after. He was there after hours when he was not supposed to be there. That's trespassing.
And sadly,
I thought they work. I didn't mean to cut you off, Claudia. I thought they work all night when you work. You in the building.
He was working all night.
Not in that room.
I don't have a problem with it.
First of all,
we know you don't.
Oh my God! First of all, you having anal in public like that?
No, me or him?
Him.
Let's just be clear. With me, it was just oral. The person was performing oral.
Right. Okay. Oral's a lot less complicated and messy than potentially what anal would be, I would imagine, right? And to just do that like that, like, did he prep for this? Y'all, there's been conversations that there needs to be some prepping, right? Some
It's hot to me, baby.
I'm saying,
I'm loving it.
Oh my God!
That's disgusting.
Y'all want to hunch on planes and stuff. Production, stop telling us to go to commercial. We having a good conversation. All right. How many people can say they laid it low and spread it wide on the city
in the
floor,
basement bathroom?
That thing from the back where they make the law, baby. Yes. I don't got hot in between my legs. That thing is hot.
And I have to say, it was a Democrat. It wasn't a Republican. It was a Democrat.
Did you say you got hot between your legs?
Now, child, we got to go to break. But, child, that thing is hot and spicy. I like it. I'm here for it.
I just wanted to not blame the senator because it wasn't him. And his name's dragged into what his staffer does. And it's a low-end staffer that just took it in the butt in the Senate room. All right.
Yeah, we taking it in the butt as citizens from this raggedy ass government. Might as well. Anyway, send us a commercial.
Coming up next, the drama is steadily unfolding between Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson. And later we have an update on the Jonathan Majors assault case. Keep it locked.
stories that we're going to cover come from around the world, around the country. Some of them will warm your heart. Some of them will make you good and mad.
McMillan and Morrow.
There's been an uptick in fights at Disney World.
That's because it's hard to be happy in Florida right now.
Every Thursday night.
Yeah, and you're having a great night at Disney World's Epcot.
How you gonna ban Black history? Here are people go through 400 years of suffering and work themselves to the place where they can become the leader of the free world. That ain't no educational value. I'm fired up.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You can say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You can chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
I don't want to jump you, but you don't even qualify to speak on this. So I can't good.
TGIF, live and interactive.
I need to clear this up, y'all. You are one of the main ones trying to push the narrative that your girl can't cook. Al has been in my house. I can cook.
I'm finna test you out right here. What are acceptable types of smoked meat to put in the collard greens?
Turkey necks.
Oh?
Don't do me.
On Fox Soul.
Don't you do me. Don't try it. Welcome back to TGIF. We are spicy tonight. Shout out to all the soulmates that came to hear us gossip tonight. We have 7,500 in the chat. All right, listen, a lot of us been not feeling well lately, and this should come in even more handy than usual. Have you ever been on the hunt for a new doctor and asked literally everyone you know for their recommendation? You know, for a doctor who actually gets you, listens to you, and makes you feel super comfortable. And finally, after weeks of searching, you find the one, and not only do they have all that, but they're also close by. You both like Aries moon, Libra rising, because, you know, that's important too. So you call their office and they have an appointment available. You're ready to go. But then the receptionist tells you that this perfect doctor doesn't take your insurance. Well, then you can wipe your tears and put away the ice cream and head over to ZocDoc to find and book the doctor who is right for you and takes your insurance. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you're searching for. I could have used this the other night because I've been going through it, breaking out in hives. And I'm going to definitely use it next time I'm not feeling well because I move around a lot and I don't usually have a steady doctor for years. Go to ZocDoc.com/T and download the free ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/T, ZocDoc.com/T. Fellas, I know y'all in the same position. We talk about this all the time. You all move around a lot. Al, new to LA. I know this is coming handy for you.
Yeah, you know, it's not only just finding a doctor in different cities that I travel in case I need it, Claudia. Guess what I also found ZocDoc to be very helpful with? And that is, you know, before you can get certain prescriptions, you got to have a specialist sign off on that prescription because they don't allow just a primary care doctor to prescribe it. So ZocDoc actually can help you find a specialist close to you so that you can see them and still get the prescription you need with that whatever ailment you have.
All right, and Q?
You know, I love, guys, when I'm able to use the promotional things that we have on this show in my real life to my friends. And just recently, I have a friend in Orlando. She was looking for a doctor. Somebody referred her to a doctor, and this doctor had great reviews. They did not take her insurance, and she just happened to be venting to me on a whim. And I said, "Ooh, Quee, go to ZocDoc.com. This is something we talk about at my job. or whatever. And lo and behold, she went and was able to put in her insurance, and she found multiple highly reviewed doctors. And she actually made an appointment with one. And she told me, she was like, oh my God, Quentin, thank you so much for that, because I was having issues finding, she needed a dermatologist because some of her hair was coming out. And she was able to find a dermatologist and make an appointment.
Ooh, I never thought about that for a dermatologist. I think I want to use that for that next. All right, cool. Promotional consideration furnished by Doc. Let's get back to some more topics. Keke Palmer's baby daddy, Darius Jackson, is fighting to remove the restraining order that Keke was recently granted from the court. Darius is now implying that Keke was the abuser and he wants justice. What are your thoughts on this mess? Q, let's go to you first.
I don't like this at all. And I don't know what the truth is. I did not watch nor participate, but all I know is you're the one on tape. You're the one on tape. Now, is it far-fetched to believe that young couples these days get into the pushing and the shoving? Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. But this sounds all too convenient. You know what I'm saying? You get busted for domestic. She comes out saying she's been abused. And then, you throw in there, oh, she was hitting me first. I mean, it's a classic rebuttal. I would not expect nothing less from him. I would not be surprised if they both over the years have engaged in some pushing and some shoving and some hands in the face. I mean, it seems to be what y'all young people do. But the reality of the situation is, whether she did or she didn't, it really doesn't matter, brother, because you are the only one that's on tape. What it is, what it say? No tape, no case. No face, no face, no case. No face, no case. You're the only one on camera, boss.
King Alchemist said Darius needs to sit the F down. Al, what do you think?
Well, Q, you might have to eat your words on this one and back it up a little bit. He's filed a response to Keke's domestic violence restraining order, and he is adding his own evidence into discovery so that people can now have access to see the things that she's done. And he's mentioned a few of them. He said one day when he said he was not coming back home, he got 200 calls from her within a number of hours and 50 emails in the course of the day. And he is submitting all of that information with his response. What I am 110% convinced now at this point, I can't wait to see that evidence. The same way she presented his, he has gotten smart and he has submitted a response with his evidence that hopefully will be leaked as well. From this, one thing that I do know is that verbal and physical abuse may have flowed both ways in this relationship. Now, one thing I will never condone or support is putting your hands on a woman, but at the same time, you cannot abuse a man either.
This is a wild case. You know what? Not what I hate. Keke ain't never been in no drama before she met this average-looking man. Never.
It's tarnishing her whole reputation and legacy.
So that makes me feel like, damn, we never had no issues, Keke, until this guy came along.
Or they've just been kept quiet, right?
Well, I think any guy that probably had a case with her before would be running his mouth. I will tell you, it's very hard to prove these things, even with a lot of evidence, Who
in the heck are you going to email 50 times and call 200 times because they didn't?
Well, who talks to their lover via email?
I know.
That is so formal.
Somebody who's been blocked.
I can't wait to see what she said in emails.
And the funny thing about it is, with me, I don't even check my email frequently enough for a lover to communicate with me in that manner. Like
50Q, what are you going to say in the first one? Hey, did you get the last one? Hey, what I'm saying, 50, this could be very explosive. I can't wait to see what those emails say.
If I email you, it's over. It's like a Dear John letter. That's it. We ain't doing this. All right, keep it locked because coming up next, oh God, we need positive stories in 2024. I'm tired of everybody. And it's not our producers, it's the world. The world is just being so negative. Coming up, we have an update on the Jonathan Majors assault case, and later Kanye West, we were done with him, threatens a fan at an impromptu listening party. Keep it locked.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
I don't want to jump you, but you don't even qualify to speak on this. So
fucking good.
TGIF, live and interactive.
I need to clear this up, y'all. You are one of the main ones trying to push the narrative that your girl can't cook. Al has been in my house. I can cook.
I'm finna test you out right here. What are acceptable types of smoked meat to put in the collard greens?
Turkey necks.
Oh?
Don't do me.
On Fox Soul.
Don't you do me. Don't try it.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. You always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
Welcome back to TGIF. Hey, before we went to break, there was a comment I read to the fellas while we were off. Beverly O said, calls and emails is not abuse, Al. And you had something you want to rebuttal?
Oh, absolutely. She's 110% wrong. That's considered cyber stalking. And that's what he's added in his response, that she is cyber stalking him. And that is considered harassment and it's illegal.
I want all the evidence come out. I really do. Like, I want to see. Don't delete your part, sir. Both parts, because that happened to me before with that little punk that I was talking to. He deleted all the stuff that he said and just showed my response. I look crazy. And it kind of worked. All right, we have an update on the Jonathan Majors assault case. A New York jury has found the actor guilty of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and guilty of harassment. Now, Majors was found not guilty of the intentional assault in the 3rd degree and not guilty of aggravated assaults, aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. What are your thoughts on this update, Al?
You know, I just find it all just unfortunate, but I am so glad that we were able to close this out before the Christmas holidays. The sad part is that he's been dropped by Marvel and Disney, and it's probably just the beginning of a number of people that are going to start to distance themselves. But I do want to share this. Majors is a good actor. We can't deny that. And he's young. He's 34. I really do believe that as time passed, he can probably not recover, but definitely separate himself from and still come back and do great work. Because if you think about it, he's only been on the scene, honestly, since his first role on screen, and that was only 2017. That's 6 years ago. I really, really am hoping that youth and forgiveness and people forgetting will be on his side so this young man can pick up the broken pieces that he's going to experience over the next year, put them back together, and eventually come back to the big screen.
Styles02 said, how do you run away from a fight and get charged? Gio Wayne said Marvel dropped him. And then Cali Girl Shay said, can he press charges against her? Q, what do you think about this? The charges he got and the charges he didn't get?
You know, I want to respond to Styles02 really quickly with the, how do you run away from a fight and get charged? You know, a lot of people are running with that, but we have to be honest. We don't know what happened prior to him running away. You know how sometimes little kids, you hit your cousin, then you run? You know what I'm saying? She could have been chasing him to hit his behind back for all we know. We don't know. That's just it. We saw a clip. Here is what I'm glad. I am glad that he did not get the assault charges. I think that the harassment charges are fair. Not to beat on a black man, not to jump on any bandwagons, but just too many people from his college acting mates to multiple lovers have come out and spoke in reference to his character in romantic relationships. And there is definitely a problem there. All right. I'm not going to label him an abuser, but there is definitely a problem there with his temper, his attitude, and his treatment of people. I don't expect this relationship with him and Megan Good to last long at all. And Jonathan Majors, and I hate to sound like this guy, stay your ass the hell away from the white women. All right? Stay away from them. Stay away from them. And I'm not implying that the white women are the problem all the way, but white women just have not historically worked out in the best interest of brothers when it comes to violence and domestic violence and these types of things. So just stay away from them, my brother.
I'm going to take it a step further and say stay away from women, period. I know we discussed about Megan's involvement, and though this is not her case, now that we have the facts and now we have we have charges, that we have conviction, right? Now she's got some thinking to do. Now that we have, I wonder what she feels about it now with a conviction of being him found guilty of this. Yes, it's not the more serious things, but there is an issue there. So I wonder what she thinks about it now, because it's one thing when you're in this, and I was giving her some grace. Maybe she doesn't know everything. Maybe she's finding out this stuff in time with us. But now that it's out there, I wonder how she feels about him. I don't really be trusting men with no mustache, black men. They always be giving me suspicious vibes, and I don't know, but hey, I think you need to stay away from all women for a little while until you get your little temper under control. Keep it locked, because we are coming up. Oh, it's this crazy mail night. Crazy coming up. we Kanye West, another rant, and he's getting fat too. We'll be right back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
Stories that we're going to cover come from around the world, around the country. Some of them will warm your heart. Some of them will make you good and mad.
McMillan and Morrow.
There's been an uptick in fights at Disney World.
That's because it's hard to be happy in Florida right now.
Every Thursday night.
Yeah, you're having a great night at Disney World, Epcot.
How you gonna ban Black history? Here are people go through 400 years of suffering and work themselves to the place where they can become the leader of the free world. That ain't no educational value. I'm fired up.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect.
Welcome back to the show. Kanye West recently went on a rant while playing his new music for the crew over at Zeus. Take a look.
Just the fact that you ain't listening to me, ain't none of y'all with me. I'm by myself, because ain't none of y'all stand up for me. Ain't nobody stop. Shut up. Be quiet before you get exiled.
Oh, okay. What are your thoughts, Funky? Let's go to you first. What do you think about this little rant?
He didn't take his medication. The fans that were there were better fans than I'd ever be, because I just don't deal with being spoken to like that by anybody. And maybe because I'm in the business and I'm in proximity to celebrity on the regular, that I'm not as honored or happy to be in a space like that, but I would never on my own recognizance be in a space where anybody was speaking to me like that. And Kanye, the people probably were playing in their phone and talking and tweeting their thumbs because they were probably not engaged in that manic ass music that you were probably making. It is beyond clear that this man is unhinged and he just seems to always be angry and making an ass out of himself at every turn of the block. We're going to stop calling this genius. We're going to call it what it is, and it is manic, mentally ill, angry, bipolar behavior. And this brother needs help, and it's time that somebody somewhere do something.
Mm-hmm. Al, what do you think?
Yeah, I watched the entire clip, and TMZ shares more of the clip, and he said Jesus Christ, Hitler, and Ye sponsored that. And then he went on to say Jews own all the banks, hospitals, and private schools in Los Angeles, and they're trying, to target him. That one young lady was the only one that made any sense in all those videos when she said, Kanye, you ain't God, Niggah. She's the only one in the whole room that made any sense to me. And that's why he was trying to put her out. He definitely needs some type of help, or he just needs to take a break from social media because the more he's in it, the crazier he's starting to look.
Exactly. And I think a big part of the reason why he's like that is because, as you saw in the room full of people, only one person dared to push back on it as he was talking to them crazy, saying all this weird stuff, him, God, Jesus, Hitler, all this stuff he's saying. Listen, we can make an argument that he has some great ideas and some weird ones as well. But just because someone's eccentric and weird and out there does not make them a genius and does not make them beyond reproach and does not give them liberty and license to just treat people like crap. He just seems extremely unhappy. He's always complaining and bitching about stuff. And I'm like, what is the end game here? It sucks because the stuff that you are right about, it's hard to co-sign that because then you follow it up with some crazy-ish. And it's so draining. We have some comments in the chat. Q, do you want to read them?
Yes, we do, honey. Sensei by Selena said, be quiet before you get exiled is wild. Anthony Horn said, he done completely lost his mind. And E. Harris said, Kanye West needs conservatorship like Britney Spears. That's the only way to save him. Could y'all imagine if Kanye West was somewhere whining them big-ass childbearing hips like Britney do with them little panties on, singing and carrying on? That would be hilarious. But let me tell you something about that conservatorship. If Kris Jenner can't get you into conservatorship, it can't happen.
That's true, because if she wanted it done, it probably would have been done. This is a sad story. Actor Darius McCrary was arrested for the second time due to unpaid child support. The Family Matters actor was reportedly taken into police custody a few weeks ago on a felony count for failure to pay child support. He owed $52,788.04 as of March 2019. What are your thoughts on the story, Al?
How ironic is it that this iconic actor, Darius McCrary from Family Matters, is going to prison for Family Matters? That show used to teach you how to do the right thing against all adversity. And it's just so funny to me that he's now in prison for something that on his show, they would teach you to stand up as a man and do what's right.
Hugh, what are your thoughts?
He is such a handsome man. I never understood the putting people in jail for child support thing. So follow me here. If you straight up don't have the money, how long do you stay? Once you're in jail, are you exonerated of your past balance? If you get out, if you don't pay the balance, do you go back? How am I supposed to pay it if I lose my job because I'm in jail? I just don't understand the jail in lieu of child support thing, but I do think this is unfortunate. I don't know what his net worth is and what he's got coming in, but I definitely do not think that $50,000 should be hard for this man. And I'm sure that $50,000 is not 3 months worth of child support. It's probably a year worth of child support or something like that. I just think it's sad.
I love Darius. He's a nice guy, but I get it. The child support needs to be paid, but this is not the way. How the hell is he able to get the money? If it's truly about the kids, right? Wouldn't the end game, the end goal be to make it where the kid gets the money? he can't even work and do any movies, even like a Tubi movie, while he's in jail. Let this man out and work it off. I think there's got to be a better way to handle this than throwing him in jail, separating him from a kid, and a way to make money. Free Darius.
Free Darius.
Yes.
Free Darius.
Yes.
It's the system, the man holding us down.
Ain't it? Because he's a black man in America. I want to thank my co-hosts, Al Reynolds and Funky Dineva, for joining me tonight. Thanks for watching us on YouTube, all 7,900. Stay tuned for Fox Soul Face Up, and we will see you back here tomorrow. We want to get to 8,000 tomorrow, right?
That's all right.
Bye.
Have a good night.